Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here, 3 Buck Theaters. So I just had to run an errand, and as I'm waiting in the parking lot for my girlfriend to come back out, it dawned on me to check the trades as I've been doing all day. But there's one thing that I missed, and that was an AT&T earnings call held this morning that gave us a bit of insight into HBO Max and its success. And to be fair, it's absolutely been a success, kind of. I think a lot of people are overhyping it. I think a lot of people are overplaying it. And I think that we have to have an honest conversation about what it all means. Let me first start off by saying that I disagree with the concept that the AT&T CEO says that HBO Max had a flawless launch. That isn't true. Not being on Roku, not being on Amazon, that is not reaching an estimated 80 million households here in the United States. That's a big factor. That's a big deal. I can't watch HBO Max on my TVs. I watch it on my PS4 in my bedroom, but that's usually something I can only get to at night, and I can't sit there and watch it in the daytime because I'm not in my room. So it limits my ability to watch it, and it's actually really frustrating to the point of where I have considered canceling the service as a result of that. Now I'll wait until Justice League comes out, and then I'll reactivate the service, obviously. I don't want to get rid of it. I do like a lot of the content that is on there, and I see a lot of what's coming down the pipeline as something that I'm going to enjoy. But as a consumer that votes with my wallet, I still cannot say that this was a flawless victory, that this was a flawless rollout. It wasn't, not by any stretch of the imagination, and I think it's a lie to consumers and the shareholders to make that claim. That being said, looking at the amount of new subscribers that it pulled in during the first quarter, not that many. Not that many. They're spinning it to make it out like they did, but it's really not that many. So there's roughly 36 million HBO Max subscribers. 31 million of those were rollovers from HBO Now, which has effectively been killed off. And that might even include HBO Go and just standard HBO users. The weird tiered pricing system and accessibility system that Time Warner had put there for HBO was confusing, and it's still confusing. And so it makes sense that AT&T is trying to streamline it. But they are making the claim that it's only gone up by 4.1 million subscribers in the first couple months. And that is low compared to, let's say, Disney Plus, which had 28 million people sign up for the service in the first couple days. I think it's like 5% increase over the span of the last 3 months, where they've mostly had a rollover from previous users. Now, 4.1 million people is not a small amount of people. Let's be fair. That's not a small amount of people. It's a good chunk of people, but it's not what they're even estimating. What they want to have is roughly 50 million subscriptions here in the United States by 2025, with an estimated 75 to 90 million worldwide by that same time frame. So about 5 years to get into that kind of user base. And you know what? That is definitely a good goal to have. And if they feel that this is part of their projections and they feel like they're on track, then good for them. I support it. The reason why I'm talking about it now is I, for some reason, keep getting into it with certain people in the Snyder Cut movement that are arguing that it's an unmitigated success, that the first few months of HBO Max is absolutely amazing, and that it just means more is on the horizon. And yeah, I want that too. I'm not saying I don't want that at all, but I have to also be realistic about where we find ourselves. Everything boils down to how popular something is. And I think we're going to get that when it comes to the Snyder Cut, coming off of Justice Con in just a couple days, of what he's going to be announcing, whatever he's going to be teasing at the event this weekend. And then, of course, in mid-August with DC Fandom, which is also going to have a Justice League panel with everybody. And I think that's where we're going to get more significant information, and we're going to get a better idea for what to expect. Most likely a release date, which we are now hearing is sometime between early to mid 2021. Probably more early because of COVID. They want the subscription model. AT&T's CEO was like, look, we have basically established the framework for how we want to move forward. And that is something I agree with. They've established the pay model framework that is going to work best for them. $15 a month times 50 million people. I mean, that's a significant amount of change. That's what, $750 million every single month? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot more money than they'd be getting by having these movies come to theater, if you think about it. That's a lot more money because people aren't just dropping a few dollars at one point in time. They're dropping a consistent dollar amount every single month, and they keep going. That's why streaming is definitely going to be the future. And like I've said before, and I'll keep reiterating this point, we don't know what's going to happen with Zack Snyder's Justice League. And we have to be, I would say, supportive, 100% supportive. At no point am I saying don't be supportive, but also to modify expectations. And I do hate being a contrarian on this one, but I seem to get into it with a number of people when it comes to this subject matter. And I got accused even today of like questioning whether or not the Snyder Cut will be any good. And I was called not a Snyder fan, which was really weird to me. I've been a Snyder fan since I saw Dawn of the Dead in 2004. You know, I've asked him questions at Comic-Con. I've seen all of his movies in theaters. Like, what are you even talking about here? But that is, of course, one part of the fandom that does get a little bit, well, uppity. That's a good word for it, I think. They get a little bit, they get protective, aggressive at times. But not all of them are like that 100%. And I think by having these discussions about where things are in regards to what some of the people in that group are saying is good in order to keep people from putting it too high up on a pedestal to where it's never going to be able to meet the expectations you've levied upon it. And that is why I think that having these discussions about HBO Max's subscription rate in the first few months goes to show you that while there might be support online, it's not necessarily translating as much right now. And I think that's going to change once we get closer to its release, once we have a definitive release date, and quite frankly, once HBO Max has more unique content. They also don't have a great deal of original content right now. It's all coming, which is great. Like, I can't wait to see American Pickle in the next couple of weeks. I think that's going to be freaking hysterical. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And I'm enjoying the fact that there's a lot on the horizon that they're announcing. But it's got to take time to get there, and I admit that, and I'm not arguing against it. What I'm trying to say is that it's going to take time to get there. Right now, people are in this kind of afterglow still from the announcement with JusticeCon on the horizon, DC Fandom on the horizon, and everything else that's going on. Like, for example, the announcement today that Harley Quinn Season 1 and Season 2 will be available for all HBO Max members on August 1st, and that DC Universe is now no longer offering yearly subscriptions, effectively meaning that DC Universe is on its way out the door as well. There's a lot that's happening, there's a lot that's changing, and there's a lot that's going to change in the next couple months. The key is to just keep a watchful eye and to realize that change takes time. Snyder Cut being announced didn't happen overnight. So just because it's happening now doesn't mean that now is the time to more or less get your hopes too high and think that the reality of the situation is much different than it truly is. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions on this one. I want you to let me know down in the comment section. Should be a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter at mjarbo. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/3bucktheater. And I look forward to talking with you guys about this on a live stream even, which may or may not happen later on tonight. It all depends whether or not my girlfriend hurries the hell up so I can get home and get the rest of my crap done. I love her, but she shops. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.